I remember the exact moment my life stopped being mine. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Too quiet. I had been away for 3 weeks. Work sent me overseas. Nothing special. Just another trip where I'd come back, unpack, order takeout, and fall asleep in my own bed. The bed I bought. The house I bought. The only place in the world that felt like mine. I remember texting my mom the night before I flew back. Landing tomorrow afternoon. Miss you. I'll stop by. She replied with a heart emoji. Nothing else. I didn't think much of it. She was always short with texts. The flight was fine. The drive from the airport was fine. The weather was fine. Everything felt normal. That's what scares me now. How normal everything felt right before it collapsed. I pulled into my neighborhood at around 4 p.m. The sun was low. Kids were playing in the street. A dog barked somewhere. Just another evening. Then I saw the truck. A large moving truck. Parked in my driveway. I thought it was a mistake. Maybe a neighbor. Maybe someone lost. I checked the address twice. 3 times. It was my house. My driveway. My front door. Wide open. My heart didn't race. Not yet. It just froze. Like my body knew before my brain did. I parked behind the truck and got out. Walked toward my own front door like I was a stranger. And that's when I heard laughter. Laughter coming from inside my house. I stepped through the doorway and saw them. My mom. My sister Sarah. My brother Mark. Standing in my living room. My furniture was gone. My pictures off the walls. My kitchen table replaced with boxes. And my mom was laughing. Holding a stack of papers. Sarah saw me first. Her smile didn't drop. It got bigger. "Oh, you're back early," she said. Like I was interrupting something. My mom turned around. She was holding a pen. She looked at me like I was a delivery guy who knocked at the wrong door. "What are you doing here?" she asked. I stood in my own doorway. In my own house. And my mother asked me what I was doing there. "This is my house," I said. "What is all this?" Silence. 3 seconds of silence. Then Sarah laughed again. The kind of laugh that isn't funny. The kind that's mean. The kind that says you're about to enjoy watching someone hurt. "Not anymore," she said. I looked at my mom. She didn't correct her. She didn't frown. She just tilted her head like I was being difficult. "Mom," I said. "What is she talking about?" My mom sighed. The same sigh she used when I asked for help with homework. Like I was annoying her. "I sold it," she said. I heard the words. Every syllable. But they didn't make sense. They couldn't make sense. You don't just sell someone's house. That's not how things work. That's not how any of this works. "You sold my house?" "Our house," my mom said. "It was always family property." That stopped me. "What?" Sarah stepped forward. She was holding a glass of something. Wine maybe. Celebrating. "You didn't really think it was yours, did you?" she said. "Mom just let you live here. But you were gone so much. And I needed help. So we sold it." I looked at my brother. Mark. He wasn't laughing. He was standing by the window. Arms crossed. Looking at the floor. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "Mark." I said. "Nothing." He just shook his head slightly. Not at me. At the floor. My mom walked toward me. She pressed the stack of papers into my hands. Legal documents. Signatures. My signature. None of them were mine. "Don't make this hard," she said. Sarah got into trouble. Big trouble. Debt from that business she tried to start. She was going to lose everything. "And you have a good job. You can find somewhere else." I couldn't breathe. Not dramatically. Not like in movies. My lungs just stopped working. I stood there holding papers that said my house was gone. My house. The one I worked for. The down payment I saved for 3 years. The mortgage I paid every month. The walls I painted. The floors I fixed. The garden my mom said she loved. "You forged my signature," I whispered. My mom didn't flinch. I did what I had to do for my daughter. Sarah laughed again. "That sound. I'll never forget that sound." "Don't look so dramatic," she said. "You can stay with us until you figure things out. Mom's couch is comfortable." My mom nodded. Like this was generous. Like they were doing me a favor. "You've got nowhere now," Sarah said. Smiling. But don't worry. We'll take care of you. That's when something shifted inside me. It wasn't anger. Not yet. It was clarity. Cold. Precise. Like someone turned on a light in a room I didn't know existed. Really? I said. One word. Quiet. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I just looked at each of them. My mom who sold my home. My sister who laughed. And my brother who wouldn't look at me. Sarah stopped smiling. Just for a second. Then she recovered. What? She said. Really? I said again. Not a question this time. My mom opened her mouth to speak. But someone else spoke first. Mark. My brother. His voice was shaking. Tell me you didn't, he said. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to my mom. And his face had gone pale. Paler than fear. Paler than guilt. Something worse. My mom looked at him. Confused. Didn't what? She said. Mark walked toward me. Grabbed the papers from my hands. His fingers were trembling. He flipped through them. Faster and faster. Then he stopped. His whole body went still. Oh no, he whispered. Sarah stepped closer. What? Mark, what is it? He looked up at my mom. Then at me. Then back at the papers. Mom, he said. Whose name is on this deed? My mom frowned. Hers. I told you. The house was hers. No, Mark said. Whose name is on the original deed? Silence. My mom's confidence cracked. Just a little. A small flicker behind her eyes. Mom, Mark said again. Louder now. Tell me you checked. Checked what? Sarah demanded. Mark turned to me. His face wasn't pale anymore. It was gray. You said it wasn't yours, he said to me. When you bought it, you said it wasn't really yours. I looked at him. Then at my mom. Then at my sister who had been laughing 5 minutes ago. That's right, I said. I told all of you. That house wasn't even mine to sell. My mom's face changed. The confidence vanished completely. What do you mean? She whispered. I walked to the window. Looked out at the moving truck. At my furniture being loaded into someone else's future. The house, I said. I never bought it for myself. Behind me, I heard Sarah drop her glass. It shattered on my floor. The floor I would never walk on again. Then who? My mom started. I turned around. Smiled for the first time since I walked through the door. I bought it for someone else, I said. And they're about to find out you stole it. My brother sat down on a box. Head in his hands. Mom, he said. What did you do? She didn't answer. Because she was already pulling out her phone. Already panicking. Already realizing she sold something she never had the right to touch. But it was too late. The papers were signed. The money was transferred. And Sarah's debt was paid. With a house that was never mine to lose. And someone was coming home tomorrow to find out why their property was empty. I walked toward the door. My mom grabbed my arm. Wait, she said. Who did you buy it for? I looked at her hand on my arm. Then at her face. The face that raised me. The face that just sold my home for my sister's mistakes. You'll find out soon enough, I said. And I walked out. Into the evening. Into the silence. Into the chaos I knew was coming. My phone buzzed 3 times before I reached my car. Then 6 times. Then 12. I didn't answer. Because what I hadn't told them yet, what they had no idea about, wasn't just who really owned the house. It was why I bought it in the first place. And the secret hidden in the walls they never thought to check. That's when everything got worse. I sat in my car for 20 minutes before I could drive. My hands were shaking. Not from fear. From something worse. The kind of shaking that comes when your mother looks at you like you're a stranger and your sister celebrates your destruction. My phone kept buzzing. Missed calls from Mom. Texts from Sarah. One from Mark. Please come back. This is worse than you know. I laughed. Actually laughed. Worse than I know? They sold my home. They forged my name. They stood in my living room and told me I had nowhere to go. What could possibly be worse than that? I was about to find out. The house I bought wasn't for me. I told my family that when I moved in. I said, this isn't really mine. I'm just keeping it safe for someone. They laughed. Thought I was being dramatic. Philosophical. They didn't ask who. They never asked. Because they never cared. Not about my life. Not about my plans. Not about the letters I kept in a locked drawer. The letters from a woman I'd never told them about. Our grandmother. The one they cut off 20 years ago. I started driving. Not home. There was no home anymore. I drove to the only place left. A small diner on the edge of town where I used to meet her before she got too sick to travel. My grandmother Eleanor. She was my father's mother. The one my mom hated. The one Sarah called that old witch because she wouldn't give them money. The one who saw through every lie. Every manipulation. Every time my sister played the victim and my mom enabled it. When I was 18, my grandmother pulled me aside at a family dinner. My mom had just announced that Sarah needed tuition money. Again. And my dad, my poor, quiet dad, was writing another check he couldn't afford. Eleanor grabbed my arm. Her grip was surprisingly strong. "Come see me," she whispered. "When you're older. When you're ready to be free of them." I didn't understand then. But I never forgot. Years passed. I worked. I saved. I stayed away from family drama while somehow still being dragged into it. And then my grandmother got sick. Lung cancer. The kind that spreads before anyone notices. I visited her every weekend in her final months. My mom never came. Sarah sent a card. One card. On her last day, Eleanor held my hand and made me promise. "Don't let them take what I'm giving you," she said. "It's yours. All of it. But keep it hidden until they show you who they really are." I didn't know what she meant. Not fully. Until the lawyer called 3 days after her funeral. She left me everything. Her savings. Her jewelry. And a small house. Not the one I lived in. That one I bought myself with my own money. No, the house she left me was different. Older. Hidden. A property she'd owned for 40 years that no one in my family knew existed. Not even my dad. Why didn't she tell anyone? I asked the lawyer. He handed me a letter. Her handwriting. Because they would have taken it from you too. Just like they take everything. I bought my own house as a decoy. A safe place to live while I figured out what to do with Eleanor's gift. I told my family the house was mine. I told them I was keeping it for someone else. Both were true in different ways. And now they'd sold it. Without my permission. Without even checking who actually owned the property. I pulled into the diner parking lot. My phone buzzed again. "Mom." I answered. "Where are you?" she demanded. No hello. No apology. Just anger. "Somewhere safe," I said. "Who owns the house?" I could hear Sarah in the background. Crying now. Interesting how she cried when things affected her. "Mom," I said. "Do you remember Eleanor?" Silence. "Don't," my mom whispered. "Remember how you told everyone she was crazy? How you said she had no money? How you convinced Dad to stop visiting her in the hospital? That woman was poison," my mom said. But her voice was shaking. "She left me something," I said. "Before she died. A house. A real one. Not the one you sold. That one was just a placeholder." More silence. Then Sarah's voice, shrill through the phone. "What house? What is she talking about?" I hung up. Because they didn't deserve an explanation. Not yet. They deserved to sit in the empty house they stole and wonder. To feel for one night what I felt every day growing up. The uncertainty. The fear. The knowledge that nothing was ever truly mine. The next morning I drove to Eleanor's house. The real one. Hidden down a gravel road surrounded by oak trees. The key still fit. The air inside smelled like her perfume. Like safety. I walked to the bedroom. The floorboard that creaked. I pulled it up and reached inside. The box was still there. Documents. Deeds. A safety deposit key. And a letter addressed to my mom. I had never opened it. Eleanor told me to wait. Wait until they showed me who they really were. Now I knew. I drove back to my house. Their house now. The truck was gone. My furniture was gone. Sarah's car was in the driveway. Mom's car too. They were waiting. I walked inside. The house was empty. Echoing. And there they were. Mom sitting on the floor. Sarah pacing. Mark standing by the window like the night before. "Who owns the house?" Mom asked. No greeting. Just fear. I held up the letter. "Grandmother Eleanor," I said. "She bought this property 10 years ago. Put it in my name as trustee. But the legal owner? The person whose signature actually matters. I paused. Let them feel it. Her estate, which I control. And you just sold a house you had no legal right to touch. Sarah went white. That's not possible. Mom said it was yours. Mom was wrong, I said. Mom didn't check. Mom signed my name on documents that are going to put her in prison if I want. My mother's face crumbled. For the first time in my life, I saw real fear in her eyes. You wouldn't, she whispered. I looked at her. At the woman who raised me. Who chose my sister every single time. Who sold my home and laughed. Watch me, I said. Mark stepped forward. His eyes were wet. What do you want? He asked. What will it take to fix this? I looked around the empty room. My empty house. My stolen life. Nothing, I said. You can't fix what you never valued. And I walked out. For the last time. The letter stayed on the floor. My mom grabbed it. Ripped it open. Behind me, I heard her scream. I don't know what Eleanor wrote. I never read it. But whatever it was, it shattered something in my mother that had been broken for a very long time. I kept walking. Some things can't be unsold. Some homes can't be returned. And some families don't deserve forgiveness. They just deserve the truth. The truth that was hidden in plain sight. Behind a house that was never mine. Behind a grandmother they abandoned. Behind a secret they never thought to ask. And now? Now they have nothing. And I finally have everything. Because Eleanor's house is still standing. The oak trees are still there. And for the first time in my life, I'm not keeping anything safe for anyone. I'm finally home. The end.